Good day, Doc Amor. So we are Group 5 and we are assigned to discuss about the educational system of Sweden. But before that, allow me to introduce first my group mates. We have Sir Alan Orbita, Sir Jonathan, Ma'am Karen, Ma'am Maylene, Sir Noel, Sir Roldax, Ma'am Roslyn, Ma'am Shelley, Ma'am Neri, and yours truly, Sir Alvin. So let's begin. Again, good day to everyone, and I'll be going to begin the discussion about the national profile of Sweden. So I'll just give a brief background about the national profile of Sweden. So in terms of the national profile of Sweden, Sweden is a constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy with a head of government, so the prime minister, and a head of state, and the monarch. So the government exercises executive power. Legislative power is vested in a single chamber of parliament. So in terms of Sweden, Sweden is a unitary state, are divided into 20 countries and 290 municipalities. So Sweden is also called Swedish or Svenskar are an ethnic group native to the Nordic region, primarily their nation's state of Sweden. So who are share a common ancestry, culture, history, and language. So lastly, in terms of Sweden, Sweden is a highly developed country, ranked in the 7th in the Human Development Index.
Facts about Sweden, presented by Raldaxe Pallones. Help. Sweden has instituted a country worldwide program that receive an SMS when there is a heart attack victim nearby. Donors receive SMS whenever their blood saves lives. Researchers in Sweden develop a blood test that detects cancer. Disposal. Sweden is good at recycling that is run out of rubbish and imports 80,000 a year in Norway. Language. In a remote area in Sweden, people still speak an ancient dialect of Old Norse, the language of Vikings. It's called Elfdalian and they still use runes up until the 1900s. How about education? First, Sweden pays high school students $187 per month to attend schools. In Sweden, studying in schools is mandatory until the age of 15. Okay, so the first thing is the reason why they give or they pay high school students for uh, attending the class. It's because to encourage them to study and to graduate with a good knowledge. And then, Sweden studying in schools in mandatory until the age of 15. So this part from age 6 to 15 or 0 to 15, they encourage the students to study. And then after that age, they can choose their path. So for example, they want to start their business or becoming a employee. Okay.
Sweden is known for its innovative and progressive model of education. The Swedish education system is built on the principles of equality, accessibility, and quality. Also, it is designed to provide students with well-rounded education that actually prepares them for challenges in the modern world. One of the unique features of Swedish education system is it emphasizes the individuality of particular students. Students were encouraged to pursue their interest and passion, and of course, teachers work closely with them to develop their skills and talent. This approach helps students to become independent thinkers and problem solvers, which is, of course, a vital material that is needed in today's fast-paced, and complex world. Swedish has a compulsory schooling that is consists of different stages. We have the preschool year or year zero. We also have the lacta diet, which is from ages 1 to 3, the Melanta diet, which ranges from 4 to 6, the Hoxha diet, which ranges from 7 to 9. So those five are the stages, followed by the children between ages 6 and 13 are also offered out of school care before and after school hours. And aside from that, they also have this gymnasium, which is also an optional. Those students who wants to go to the gymnasium are actually from the upper secondary school, sixth form or high school, and the age ranges from 10 to 12.
Good evening, Doc Diaz. Good evening, classmates. I am Alan Arbita, and I'm here to present to you a brief information about the Swedish curriculum. First is about their basic education. So for their basic education, it is composed of 16 compulsory subjects and it is sorted by time allocation. Hindi naman po ito sabay-sabay. So some of the subjects or the subjects are Swedish, mathematics, physical education, English. They also have handicrafts, music, visual arts, technology. For the sciences, we have physics, chemistry, and biology. For the social studies, we have history, social studies, religion, geography, and even home economics. Then the grading system in compulsory schools use letter grades. A, B, C, D, E, A as the highest, and F as their failing grade. During their third grades, 6 and 9, they are undergoing a national test administered to all students in Swedish schools. Next is they have schools with special accommodation. First is the Sami people. These are the people in the north part of Sweden. Also, they have students with intellectual disabilities and students with disabilities. And in their programs, it is divided into two, the preparatory and the vocational. So,
And I will be discussing about educational ladder of Sweden. Let us start with preschool. Children ages 1 to 5 may attend an optional preschool program. They call it the first Kola. And when they reach 6 years old, they are now then offered a place in kindergarten. They call it the first Kola class. And after preschool, next would be the compulsory education, which is divided into 3 levels. First level is the elementary school, comprises the first 3 years of compulsory school. Next would be the middle school, years 4 to 6. Next would be the junior high school, years 7 to 9. After they have finished the years 1 to 9 of compulsory education, next would be the upper secondary education. They call it the gymnasium. This is their optional senior high school. They can finish it in 3 years. And after they have finished the upper secondary education, students may already enroll or apply for the university of their choice. It may be the university or university colleges and or higher vocational education. That's all.
Good day, everyone. I am Saida Neri, together with Ma'am Shelly Rose Ovejas, and are going to report about educational structure of Sweden. Sweden is ranked among the world's best leaders in education. The Swedish education system encompasses several different schooling and education designed for students of different age groups and with different abilities. In Sweden, attending school is compulsory for all children aged 7 to 16. The age at which children may begin school is flexible. A child can start going to school at 6, 7, or 8 years old. Compulsory school is free. The same standard of education is to be provided throughout the country, and it's to provide a platform for further studies. The school academic year begins at the end of August and runs to the beginning of the June of the subsequent year, encompassing a total of around 40 weeks. The regular weeks is 5 days long, same in our country, Monday through Friday also. A long holiday on account of Christmas is taken from the 20th of December to the beginning of January. Homeschooling is also closely supervised by the government and very limited. The structure of education in Sweden comprises preschool, primary and lower secondary, upper secondary education, vocational education training, and higher education. For the preschool education in Sweden, the preschool system is intended for children for the age of 1 until they start in preschool class or compulsory school. Preschool takes a holistic view of children and their needs and is designed to so that care, development, and learning come together for a form a whole. For the primary and lower secondary level, compulsory schooling starts at the age of 7. It is mandatory for the children to begin attending a school at the age of 6 on parental application. For the ninth year, standardized compulsory education is the compulsory form of schooling at primary level and at lower secondary level. It has been divided into three different levels: lower level, intermediate level, and upper level. Each level compasses three school years. Upper secondary education, after students have finished lower secondary school with satisfactory score in Swedish, English, mathematics, they are permitted to seek admission in upper secondary school, also known as senior high school or gymnasieskola in Swedish. Upper secondary education is undertaken by the students from 16 to 19 years of age, lasts for 3 years, and comprises two common categories, preparatory and vocational. For the next slide, here's Ma'am Shelly.
Good afternoon. I'm going to report about the vocational and education training in Sweden. So let's start. Vocational education and training in Sweden mainly takes place in full-time school institutions or colleges at upper secondary level. So the upper secondary level is followed by the vocational and education training, an amalgamation of teaching in the principal subjects offered at upper secondary school and the practical course of vocational education and training. So what do we mean by amalgamation? Amalgamation means the combination of teaching the principal and major subjects offered at upper secondary school. So that is vocational and education training. Okay, so the next topic is the higher education structure. So higher education structure in Sweden have two types. The first one is the undergraduate and the second is postgraduate studies and research. So in Sweden, higher education institutions fall under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Education, excluding the University of Agricultural Science, which falls under the Ministry of Agriculture. So in this higher education structure, which is in the undergraduate, so the successful completion of undergraduate programs depend upon the credit points that you score. For example, 1 credit denotes 1 week of full-time study. Hence, 1 year usually stands for 40 credits. So there are 2 degrees or 2 degrees in undergraduate degree. So the first one is the Högskoleexamen, which is awarded, so that is the Swedish version, is awarded after the successful completion of 2 years full-time education, and that is 80 credit points. Then the bachelor's degree, Kandidatexamen in Swedish. So it is a 3-year full-time study. So this higher education structure, so I will discuss the 2 types of master's degree in Sweden. So there are 2 types. So this is in the Swedish language. Okay, so the first one is Magisterexamen med amnejuk. So this is awarded after the completion of 4 years. So this is a full-time study and a student should score at least 160 credits. So the second one is Magisterexamen med amnesbred. So it requires at least 40 credits, including an independent special project of at least 10 credits. So that is the 2 types of master's degree in Sweden. Okay, next. So this is also under the higher education structure in Sweden. So I will discuss the postgraduate studies and research. So nowadays we all know that research is one of the major tools in education, or the tools to discover new things or to find a solution in a topic. So let us discuss about the Sweden. So the postgraduate study in Sweden known as, this is another Swedish language, known as the licentiate degree. So this includes 2 years of study and research, and it also includes a research thesis. So the completion of undergraduate degree is 120 points. And next is the doctorate studies, and consists of independent research, reading and methodology courses, seminars, and individual literature surveys. So the postgraduate study and the doctorate studies have different processes and points, and both have thesis, and you should complete all the requirements in those subjects, because you will get a degree in postgraduate and doctorate degree.
Best practices in teaching English. In Sweden, English language education focuses on developing student skills in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The teaching approach emphasizes meaningful communication and expressing thoughts and ideas. Students actively participate in conversations and discussions to improve their speaking abilities. English is taught as a separate subject from primary school to secondary education. The lessons cover vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and understanding English texts. This helps students build a strong foundation in the language. Teachers in Sweden use effective methods to teach English. They create an immersive environment by conducting lessons mainly in English. They also use real-life materials like books, articles, videos, and audio recordings to expose students to authentic English usage. All language skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing are developed. Technology like interactive whiteboards and language learning apps is integrated to enhance learning. Assessments are done to provide feedback and evaluate students' language proficiency. Teachers continuously improve their teaching skills through professional development opportunities.
Hello everyone. So now we're going to discuss about the best practices in teaching sciences. The best practices in teaching science in Sweden. In Sweden, science education is highly regarded and emphasized as practical and inquiry-based approach. Here are some best practices in teaching science in Sweden. So number one, inquiry-based learning. Number two, practical experiments. Three, collaborative learning. Four, integration of technology. Number five, interdisciplinary approach. Number six, outdoor education. Number seven, focus on sustainability. And last, number eight, assessment for learning. So let's start discuss the inquiry-based learning. In Swedish science education focuses on fostering students' curiosity and critical thinking skills. Teachers encourage students to ask questions, explore scientific phenomena, and develop their own hypotheses through hands-on experiments and investigations. Number two, practical experiments. Science education in Sweden emphasizes the importance of practical work and laboratory experiments. Students actively engage in conducting experiments, collecting data, analyzing results, and drawing conclusions. This approach helps students develop a deep understanding of scientific concepts and principles. Number four, collaborative learning. Collaborative learning is encouraged in Swedish science classrooms. Students often work in groups or pairs to solve problems, conduct experiments, and discuss their findings. This approach promotes teamwork, communication skills, and peer to peer learning. Number five, integration of technology. In Swedish education, technology is integrated into science education to enhance learning experiences. Students use various tools such as computer simulation, data logging devices, and online resources to explore scientific concepts and phenomena. Technology also enables students to visualize abstract concepts and analyze complex data more effectively. Number five, interdisciplinary approach. In Sweden, often adopts an interdisciplinary approach, connecting science with other subjects like mathematics, technology, and engineering. This approach helps students understand how scientific knowledge can be applied in real world contexts and encourage them to see the interconnectedness of different subjects. Number six is outdoor education. In Swedish education, science classes often involves field trips, nature walks, and hands-on activities in natural setting. This approach allows students to directly observe and interact with the natural world, fostering a deeper appreciation for nature and environmental sciences. Number seven, focus on sustainability. Sweden places a strong emphasis on sustainability in science education. Students are encouraged to explore environmental issues, climate change, and renewable energy sources, and other topics related to sustainable development. This approach helps students develop a sense of responsibility towards the environment and understand the importance of sustainable practices. And last, number 8, assessment for learning. Swedish science education emphasizes formative assessment where teachers provide regular feedback to students to support their learnings. Assessment are often designed to assess students' understanding of scientific concepts and their ability to apply knowledge in practical contexts. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. I'm here to discuss about the best practices in teaching mathematics. I'm Mylene F. Maningsang. Let's discuss first the mathematics education in Sweden. Mathematics is taught in many vocational courses in Swedish upper secondary vocational education. For students in upper secondary education, mathematical knowledge is often a prerequisite to study some of the vocational courses and learn an occupation. At least one mathematics course is mandatory for students enrolled in Swedish upper secondary education. In their vocational education, students study mathematics in some of their vocational courses as well as in their mathematics course. But mathematics is used differently in the different settings, and alternative aspects of mathematics are highlighted in the various contexts. The Swedish National Curriculum Development states that the teaching of the first mathematics course should develop the students' competence in using mathematics in different contexts, and especially in the chosen study program. For example, the teaching of the mathematics course should include algebraic expressions and formulas that are relevant and required in the vocational courses. It has been shown that the practical use of mathematics could be visible to students by integrating the teaching of mathematics and vocational subjects. Mathematics education in Sweden. Mathematics is also assigned to a prominent position in society, with the strong belief that mathematical knowledge by itself is good for both people and society. For the mathematics curriculum, the mathematics curriculum during elementary school in Sweden has many components like understanding and use of numbers, algebra, geometry, probability and statistics, relationships and change, and problem solving. But there is strong emphasis on concept of numbers and operations with numbers. From an international perspective, mathematics knowledge is defined as something more complex than concept of numbers and operations with numbers. Kilpark et al. Argue for 5 strands, which together build mathematical proficiency. The 5 strands provide a framework for discussing the knowledge, skills, abilities, and beliefs that constitute mathematical proficiency. In their report, they discussed 5 strands, which builds student mathematical proficiency. And those are as follows. First is the conceptual understanding. It is about comprehension of mathematical concepts, operations, and relationships. Students with conceptual understanding know more than isolated facts and methods. Items measuring conceptual understanding are, for instance, your number is 123.45. Change the hundreds and the tens. What is your new number? Next is the procedural fluency. It refers to skills in carrying out procedures flexibly, accurately, efficiently, and appropriately. Students need to be efficient in performing basic computations with whole numbers. Examples: 6 plus 7, 17 minus 9, 8 times 4, without always having to refer to tables or other aids. Next is the strategic competence. It is the ability to formulate, represent, and solve mathematical problems. Kilpark et al. Give the following example of item testing strategic competence. A cycle shop has a total of 36 bicycles and tricycles in stocks. Collectively, there are 80 wheels. How many bikes and how many tricycles are there? The fourth one is the adaptive reasoning. It refers to the capacity for logical thought, reflection, explanation, and justification. Kilpatrick et al. Gives the following example where students can use their adaptive reasoning. Through a carefully constructed sequence of activities about adding and removing marbles from a bag containing many marbles. Second graded second graders can reason that 5 plus parenthesis minus 6 equals -1. In the context of cutting short bows from a 12-meter package of ribbon and using physical models to calculate that 12 divided by 1/3 is 36. Fifth graders can reason that 12 divided by 2/3 cannot be 72 because that would mean getting more bows from a package when the individual bow is larger, which does not make sense. The last one is the productive disposition. It is the habitual inclination to see mathematics as sensible, useful, and worthwhile coupled with a belief in diligence and one's own efficacy. Items measuring productive dispositions are, for instance, how confident are you in the following situations? When you count 8 minus 1 equals blank plus 3. Completely confident, confident, fairly confident, and not all confident. That's all. I hope you learned from our group reports. Thank you for listening.